know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Looking to help your favorite Chiefs podcast? Well, we're trying to raise money to create merchandise for our online store, as well as be able to have more merch to do giveaways to all of our fans. To any of our YouTubers, if you see down below, you can show your support with the new Super Thanks option. Any amount will go a long way towards helping us launch our online store. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks to all of our followers for your continued support. Enjoy the episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash. I'm here with our guy, former tight end Jason Dunn. JD, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, my brother? How's it going? We're coming off this weekend game, so it's going to be real interesting coming into week 2. But there's been some things transpired during this time in the game, and we'll kind of get into the game talking about it. But other than that, man, I've been doing well. Man. No, can't complain.
Yeah. Now, this episode, like JD kind of mentioned, is going to be all about kind of what we saw at the game on Saturday, but also kind of the aftermath of what we're seeing, what everyone's talking about, all the hype right now, and then also some of the cuts that happened this week. And then we will preview week 2 of preseason, which is against the Washington Commanders in Kansas City. So a lot of the rookies will finally get a little taste of what Arrowhead is like. Obviously not regular season Arrowhead, but preseason Arrowhead's not bad, JD. But, okay. Is there a big difference between preseason and regular season Arrowhead?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
100%. Yeah, it's not even the same. I mean, the thing is they'll still have a great crowd out there. But, when the season starts, when it becomes real, you really start seeing like a little bit more of like the whole ambiance of Arrowhead, and GH Field. I won't leave that out there. But, like just the whole tailgating and, coming into the game and you just seeing the parking lot just swole with people and Chiefs gear and flags flying, and man, it's going to be a sight. And you'll get a little bit of that, of course, like I said, for this preseason game. But like, there's nothing like the season, though. Nothing like the season. Oh, and I want to say this, and I plan on doing this. I ain't had a chance, but I was talking to the guys that I was on the show with the other week about going out and tailgating. So I'm gonna come out to the game, and I'm gonna enjoy a segment of tailgating. All right, that's what I want to do. I want to come out and go and find a couple of people to go tailgate with. They gave me some names, a couple of guys to go and hook up with, and I want to do a little segment kind of with him, just finding where the best tailgating is in Chiefs Stadium, because I never really had a chance to do it, man. I just never have. Every time I get to the stadium, it's always coming in. We get your tickets. You kind of go to like the area, the Chiefs area where you go with the families or whatnot. But this year, I'm gonna make it a point that I'm gonna be in the parking lot. I'm going to go talk to the people. I want to go taste some barbecue. I want to see the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle, man, the whole kit and caboodle. So I tell you what, if people on here, if they got some suggestions on where to go for tailgating and what lot you're in and stuff like that for the season, hey, let me know. I'm gonna let people know when I'm coming out to the game so I can come out there and take some barbecue and stuff. So
awesome.
Yeah,
that's you heard JD. Comment below if you know anybody in particular. And then obviously you can DM us on Twitter. You can DM JD on Twitter or me on Twitter. And then we'll get this going. We're gonna get Chief Concerns on the road. And JD, your brother-in-law is gonna be out there with you. So
he is
filming you on this.
He's gonna be filming me with it. So we're gonna have a nice little crew kind of going in and I don't really eat a whole lot of barbecue or a whole lot of pork, and I've kind of gotten away from the beef, but for these games, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet. I'm gonna try some, and I can't wait to really taste some great barbecue from Kansas City, right? So remember, our brother Cornell Powell was talking about the barbecue out in Kansas City. I want to see how the people do it. Okay, I know some of the places to go, but I want to see how some of the people do it because that's where you're gonna find some of the best barbecue. So, yeah, man, I'm excited. It's gonna be a good time, man. I can't wait. Ooh. It's getting here, baby. It's getting here.
And if you're doing BBQ, you may as well do it right. So I like that you're gonna no restrictions on when you go do the barbecue tailgating. Yeah, no restrictions on that.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, no, we'll definitely make a nice little video of that with when JD does that. So so everyone can get a taste of what JD who JD hangs out with and what he sees out there. So So now we got a little talk about chatter about the running back group, which JD had said that's one of the groups he's looking at going into training camp, and then also one of the groups he was looking at going into last week. So we're gonna start tonight with the hype of Isiah Pacheco, among other guys. But so last week we saw kind of surprising where we saw CEH Pacheco take the second most snaps from running back with the ones, and then Jerick McKinnon got third most. I think McKinnon only got like one snap. But not really many touches for these guys. I believe CEH had one carry, Pacheco had 2 carries, and then the one catch he had, which everybody's overblowing. Not overblowing, but it was a good catch. But I think I've seen people say that he reminds them of Walter Payton highlights. To me, it's like, it's one game. Walter Payton's one of the best all time. So, like,
wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, the Pacheco hype is here and it's real, and I hope he pans out. But, like, I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit, just more than just one, a couple series. But another one besides Pacheco dominating, or people saying he dominated, was the surprise of Ronald Jones playing with the 3s and the 4s. He didn't really look good. But also besides that, Derek Gore had 2 drops and a fumble. And he's the one that we said was going to be on the fringe. Everyone's saying RoJo's gone, but I think the way Derek Gore played, I think that's not, when you have a talented running back room, that's not going to be sustainable to keep that kind of play up and then leapfrog Pacheco, CEH, McKinnon, and RoJo. So that's also another thing. So my questions to you is, what did you see from the running back room? What did you see about the Pacheco hype? And do you think Ronald Jones is on the chopping block and possibly getting cut?
Okay, so I'll address this first. So offensively, kind of what I saw, obviously, it's first preseason game, and of course, you're going to have, some of, the bad steps. You're going to have the double teams not looking as crispy as they should. Some of the time is going to be off, obviously, and all that's going to come with more reps. But from the running back room wise, I think CEH did a good job with his, little carries that he had. He got positive yards. And so, I expected out of CEH, with his limited amount of carries that he was going to have. So we knew the ones was only going to have about 1 or 2 series, and that was going to be it. Mm-hmm. But like these issues that you're going to have to deal with, first preseason game, I mean, they was glaring. You could see it. You could see it where, like I said, some of the double teams, some of the guys, on the fits, on the man, it's going to come with it. That's just going to take time. Now, Pacheco, now look, he made a wonderful catch. He did. He made a wonderful catch on the sideline, broke a tackle. That's what I love seeing. And I tell you what, that's what he's going to bring to this room. He's going to bring us to the Chiefs is he has that ability to break tackles. He's going to be a hard runner. He's, with that speed that he's got, he's going to, produce a lot of power. And that's what the Chiefs have been missing. They've been missing a guy that, who is an absolute hammerhead in the hole, and he's going to bring it. He's going to be looking for contact. And you see it, like when he knows there's nowhere else for him to go, he's going to lower his shoulder, lower his head, and he's going to give that boom. So I like that about him, man. That's what the Chiefs have been missing for a long time. A guy like that who was a bruiser, who's got the speed and can make plays. I know you said, Walter Payton, too. Hey, you know how I feel about this, man. You can't use everybody's name with everybody. Okay, we just can't start doing that just quite yet, right? Mm-hmm. I think he's a talented back, but he's got some work to do. He's going to have to grow, and I think he'll have to get better in his vision, understanding like the pulse, the blocking scheme, the breathing of the hole, the timing of everything, right? And so as a rookie, that's going to take some time. I know he was talking about the speed of the game didn't really look like it changed to him. Well, he's a fast guy. He runs a 4.3. The difference is what he didn't see in Rutgers on the college level is linebackers who's going to be able to fill the hole where he wouldn't expect them to be. Mm. These guys up here are running, 4.4s, 4.5 linebackers who are absolutely light your head up. And so I know that one run he was trying to find the lane, and you just kind of looked at it. He didn't really see it. And I think he just kind of abandoned it quick. And so kind of panicked. That's his first preseason game, NFL game against a different team. It's not the defense that he's been seeing for the past few weeks, training camp. And so it was going to present a challenge to him. But I like his confidence. I like, where he is mentally of just like, yeah, man, I'm ready to go out here, do whatever they ask me to do. I can't fault him for that. I love that attitude. So, but yeah, I get the whole, I guess when you champion guys, and guys should be championed. I have no problem with that. Supporting a guy like Pacheco. I think he's going to be a tremendous back here at Kansas City. But yeah, let's give this guy a chance to kind of, find his way, right? I mean, he's a rookie. I love it. Hey, get behind him all the way. I'm with that. I ain't got no problem with it whatsoever, But then when you say, his next Gale Sayers, and okay, wait a minute, hold on. Don't start putting, more expectations on this guy than, he needs, or, maybe, necessarily hasn't quite earned yet. And so he's still earning his ways. He's still earning his stripes. And that's good. I like it though, man. But he's gonna be a hard worker while he's here. And that's what I like about him.
I guess because some of the things that pretty much everyone's really high on this guy. And I am rooting for him. I don't like the expectations where you talk about Walter Payton. Yeah, I've even seen people say, oh, he's Kareem Hunt. It's like, well, not really. I mean, we don't know yet. I mean, we didn't even really know we had with Kareem Hunt until that first game of the regular season when he dominated New England. I was like, oh man, this kid's legit. So I don't remember the hype that we had Kareem Hunt going into the season as much as there is on Pacheco right now. And maybe it's because he's a 7th round pick and we think we found this gem. Hopefully we did, but let's relax a little bit. But I did notice though, what I saw from some of the highlights was that I'm not saying he lacks vision, but there is something there. And I've seen some of this college film where people said maybe it was because he had a bad O-line in college where he just kind of puts his head down and we're running to people's backs, really not really looking for, trying to make something out of nothing with just a sheer kind of power and trying to get that. I mean, that's the kind of stuff's not going to work in the NFL, right? I mean,
no, I mean, look, I seen it when he was in college, Rutgers, what he's kind of doing. And that is some validity in that, of course, when you don't have a great offensive line. You're just trying to make your way, right? And that's part of the bruising where he's just I'm trying to get positive yards. Yeah. And he did that. So now where you're going to have a much better offensive line blocking for you, probably one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Then you got to have faith in that. You got to have faith in those guys that are going to be able to make the blocks for you, right? Mm-hmm. That the blocking scheme is going to work the way they're supposed to work. And so, like I said, that's part of finding the pulse of the whole. You need to know what the blocking scheme is, so you know what to expect on the play. When you start to when the vision comes in, is with the experience. It comes in when you feel okay, I've given this hole the chance that I could finally almost give it at the very end until I abandon it somewhere else. And so that's something he's going to have to learn, right? he's so used to how he was in college that sometimes you can't help who you are, right? Because, you know, he was molded that way in college, but now it's like, hey, wait a minute, totally different, you know, and I'm sure, you know, the enemy and those guys are going to work on him and tell him, like, listen, man, look, hey, this is how you find the holes. This is what you need to do as far as, like, trusting your line's going to do the right thing, you know, making the double team or the trays and the trips and, you know, a zone blocking, you know, and then you find the hole and get through it. And then once you see that lane, burst, man, you got to hit that burst, right? So it's not about running a guy in the back or putting your head down. We want positive yards. So once you learn how to do that in the NFL with a great line, man, then we don't know what he's going to turn into. We don't. He may be the next Kareem Hunt. I seen Kareem Hunt in college. That's why I kind of knew what they were getting because one of my best friends, his son was a quarterback at Toledo, and Kareem Hunt was there. And so we used to go up there and watch him play. And I was like, man, this guy right here has a lot of balance. He's got a lot of vision. He's not hard to bring down at all. And so when the Chiefs got him, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. Matter of fact, we played fantasy and I picked him up. I was like, man, who's Kareem Hunt? I said, man, I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you who this guy is. I watched him in college and his balance and his vision, what he's got to make guys miss and not get knocked down. You watch what he's going to do. So yeah, man. So it's a lot of patience with him. It's a lot of just teaching him what it means to be a running back in the NFL. And if he's watching these guys ahead of him, he's going to be fine. Now, let's get to the RoJo issue. All right. I know you asked about that. I just think it's unfair. I really do. For RoJo to play with the 2s and the 3s O-line. I mean, it was an absolute debacle to go out there, man, and try to, you know, run behind those guys who wasn't doing a very good job of blocking. They was missing blocks. They was missing assignments. And so RoJo was out there running for his life. Shoot, Crum was out there running for his life.
He was.
Jay Bouchel was out there running for his life. I mean, the guy Crum reminded me of the guy from Necessary Roughness. You know, I can't think of Mecole. Is that his name? I don't know what the guy's name. Mecole's off for Ridgemont High. Yeah. It's the quarterback that had the glasses on. You know, like blow the whistle, blow the whistle. That's what it seemed like to me, man. With that O-line. And they need to get better. They need to get better because some of those guys that was missing those blocks and those assignments were actually put in to replace Orlando Brown Jr., you know, talking about maybe being this guy the starter. Oh, man. I'm like, yo, hey, if that was going to be the case, it was going to be a hard day, a hard time in Kansas City if that joker didn't come back. So those guys just know they got to get better. Hey, one thing, the eye in the sky don't lie. The film don't lie. People can lie all day. They can say whatever, but that film, it ain't gonna lie, man. It's not gonna lie. Hey, coach, he did this. No, he didn't. He just kicked your butt. Hey, coach, no, he didn't. You missed your assignment. And so I'm not being harsh right here. I'm being fair. Like, you know, as a coach, I'm being as a coach and as a player, this is your expectation. And so some of the stuff I've seen out there from these guys that's in the NFL, it's not going to get it. It's not going to cut it. And matter of fact, they're going to get you cut. It ain't going to cut it. It's going to get you cut is what it's going to happen.
Yeah, I felt bad for Ronald Jones. I mean, people online, I was getting kind of annoyed because there's people online who were like rooting against guys on our team. It's like, you're Chief fans. Why are you rooting against these guys? Like, everyone's laughing about Ronald Jones. And yeah, I guess in a way, sometimes it is reality. It's like, oh, well, he's probably not going to make the team. And, you know, we're big Josh Gordon fans. We'll get to the Josh Gordon stuff in a second. But, like, people were, like, rooting against him for not getting his feet down. Cornell Powell for dropping pass. Ronald Jones for getting tackled behind the line on a toss play again with these 3s O-line. It's like, what are we doing? First off, I get we're calling that play because we're trying to see different looks from these guys, you know, how they can pull and all that stuff. I understand that. But hell, it was abysmal. I mean, it was really tough to watch to see Ronald Jones get tackled for a loss like, on almost every play. They get four carries for 1 yard in that game. Wow. I mean, that's awful.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was horrendous. It was watching it. I was just like, wow. That's something, man. Look, I had to get a guy hurt.
Yeah.
So it's not him just making the team. That might end his career. Yeah. And I'm sure in that offensive line room, it is being well known. You got to do a much better job than this. Seriously, that's just not okay. It's not all right. I don't care what you say. Hey, sorry about that, coach. Nah, sorry, it's not enough. It's not going to get it done. So you're going to find yourself out on the street blocking like this. So sometimes, man, guys are going to get certain opportunities. That's what ends up happening. Yeah. But I don't think that he RoJo, I don't think had a fair shake at it, man. It's just not fair having him in there. And I think also, too, like you said, with Derek Gore just didn't really have, perform. And I think it's a lot of the pressure, man. He feeling the heat on him, too, right? So, that's the room, the running back room, some good talent in there. And I like it. And I like the mix-up of it because you do have CH, you do have Pacheco, you do have McKinnon, and you do have RoJo, right? And so, to me, all four of those guys have a role. Like, I think all four of those guys, you can't go wrong. I don't feel like it's necessary, being a fan, that if you champion one guy, that you don't root for the other. I don't get that. To me, it doesn't make any sense. Why do that, right? Like you said, as long as they all wearing the same jersey right now, we're going to champion for all of them to get there. Man, now, we know everybody's not going to make it, but, hey, man, why is there? Why not? Yeah. Shoot.
Because at the end of the day, the team, they're not going to pick a bum. They're going to pick the best guy there. So if it does turn out to be one guy that we're standing for, but like if it's going to be somebody else, it's like, okay, well, that's fine. That person rightfully did great during the training camp and he made the team. I'm not going to be mad or upset. I mean, like one guy on Twitter when I was talking about Josh Gordon and then Cornell Powell, and I was, rooting for Cornell also. Cornell Powell dropped the slant, and the guy gave a crying emoji, that guy's not making the team. It's like, I mean, you're clapping about a guy having a poor. I mean, he dropped the pass. Well, why are we clapping about it? I'm happy about it. It's weird. It's a weird dynamic, actually.
Yeah, I'm not in that, that mindset, man. To me. Look, it's all about competition. We don't know who's going to make it, who's not going to make it. But we know also, too, this is a performance business. So these things are going to be, without a doubt, emphasized that, you got to make plays, you got to do certain things, to make the squad. Yeah. But, the whole boo-hoo and all that, I don't know, man, it's crazy. Yeah.
And that's the thing, too. It's like, these guys, for whatever reason, they're in the third or fourth team. They have to show the best they can show with what, I mean, we're talking about like not really getting a fair shot because, RoJo's going with the third team O-line and Pacheco, McKinnon, and CH are getting the first team guys. Like, well, how am I supposed to compete for a spot with those guys when they're getting better blocking than I am? But I'm going with these guys. Man, I get that's how it's always been in the NFL. Like, some guys are going to get the third team looks, some guys are going to get the first team looks, but you got to make the most of your opportunity. But I feel like it's tough and it's hard to get a good comparison, I guess.
Well, I mean, it is. It's very hard. It's very hard. It's very tough. So it's almost like remember back then the Hard Knocks and Kelce, the quarterback, was talking about, man, I got to make.
What was it? Some chicken shit. What was it?
I got to make chicken salad at it. Basically, and he's like, yeah, that's basically what you got to do because this is a position you in, right? Yeah. Hey, man, I get it. And sometimes people will say, well, you should have performed better at this part of camp, to kind of get that look to be in that position, to be the first or second team. But you also got to be fair. But also, too, coaches understand that. They know. They know, like. Look, RoJo he's a proven guy in the NFL, right? We know that. So, I just think it's unfair when he has to be, run behind those guys. So, yeah.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see if there's any kind of change up in the running backs room this week. If they do try to give RoJo some shots with the twos or the ones, the O-line there. Because, I mean, I've seen in training camp, he's run with the twos and the ones before. So it's not like unheard for him to just go from, back of the depth chart to the top. I mean, he's run with the ones and the twos. So, I mean.
Yeah. Look, man, it's without a doubt, this camp in certain positions is going to be tough. Yeah. It's going to be tough as far as like making a decision about who's going to get, the nod for it. And the running back room that's absolutely one position that's going to be a tough one. Yeah. About who's getting the carries in that room, right? How do you divvy all those things up for those guys? Yeah. So,
and I'll say this too, kind of what you said about Gore, for example. Like, he's playing with the twos and threes. He's clearly pressing because he knows it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him to make that team. 2 drops, a fumble. I mean, that's a lot of thinking going on, probably.
Boy, sometimes people know when we do that in a preseason game. You're like, oh shoot, man, that's it for me. I'm done. Like you already know it. Some you walk over to the sideline, nobody want to look at you. You know, they looking past you. You know, you just want to try to get some eye contact. Like, if somebody say something to me, like, "Hey, man, good job." Like, don't worry about it. Hey, coaches don't even look at you. Yeah, got it. You know, they like, don't worry about that guy. He ain't gonna be here tomorrow. Don't worry about it. He ain't gonna make it.
Well, he left that game with a neck injury. Obviously it wasn't anything big because they said like 2 days later he was fine. But like, I think that was right after the fumble too, or one of the drops. Yeah, it's like, my neck. Like,
oh, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, I think I'm hurt. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't want to say that. Hopefully that's not what the case was. So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, regardless of who you're a fan of, I mean, I think we're in a good position with the running backs we do have on the roster. So, like, that's one thing to take away from this. Whether you're rooting for a certain player or not to make the team, it's like we're in a good shape with the guys in that room. So, we're in good hands.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I'm happy.
Yeah, 100%. Now we're gonna go to the next topic, where this is a guy that we've been standing for since we signed him last year. And we looked at the wide receiver position group last week during that game. Obviously, you have the 4 guys who already carved out their roles. So with JuJu, not roles, but the guys who are locked for the team: JuJu, MVS, Skyy Moore, and Hardman. Those are the 4, right? So it was the 5 and 6, which we were kind of like, who's going to be that? Everyone who's been a big fan of Justin Watson, he looked like he was the one who kind of took off in that game against the Bears. Looked pretty good. I mean, I will say Shane Buechele played his ass off. I mean, he was making it easy for receivers. I know it's the quarterback's job to make it as easy as possible for receivers, but I mean, if Josh is getting that kind of those balls to him, I think we'd be talking about Josh Gordon right now instead of Justin Watson. But Justin Watson made the most of his reps. Doris Fountain got a lot of catches in the same series where Justin Watson took off. But then our guy Josh Gordon was with Dustin Crum, and I think he had one series of Buechele, but it was mainly Crum in the 2s and in the 3s and the 4s.
Buechele threw one to him on the sideline. He caught.
Yeah,
that was one. But it was odd. I mean, but it was a good catch by Josh, right?
Yeah.
It was high, went on point. It was a late ball, but yeah. Go ahead.
And then another one where that was Crum threw him on the sideline. The other sideline couldn't get the other toe down. So he had 2 good catches, but he couldn't get both his toes down. And then Cornell Powell, our guy we've had on the show, had a couple catches, but he had that one drop on that slant. It was a wide open drop, but So, but he had a good game. Other than that one little blip, he had a solid game. And then Corey Coleman really didn't do much. I saw him in the return game, had a solid kick return. But yeah, so right now, if the 5 guys are Watson with the other 4 that we named earlier, then it comes down to the sixth spot of this position. And that's between Fountain, Josh Gordon, and Corey Coleman and Cornell Powell. Everyone thinks Fountain's going to get it because he's already running with the 2s, and he plays special teams, so that he'll automatically get it. I think pump the brakes on that. And also today, Mecole Hardman had a groin injury, and JuJu's been out of practice for the last 2 days with a knee injury. So those are 2 injuries to look at, right? And so you may want to carry an extra receiver. Who knows? But what the good thing about this is we're probably not going to play JuJu or Hardman on Saturday with these injuries they have right now. Probably be on the safe side. And they're not serious injuries, but be on the safe side because we know those 2 are making the team. But now that gives us what we want, which is equal amount of reps to Fountain, Josh, and all the guys who are fighting for that 6th receiver spot. And I think that's going to be what we see on Saturday. It's going to be who makes the most of their opportunity.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you here, what do you think of Justin Watson's play on Saturday? And do you think he is the 5th guy? And who do you think comes out on top of that 6th receiver spot?
Look, Justin Watson, that joker played his butt off, man. He did a heck of a job. He looked good out there. He really looked good out there, man. Caught the ball solidly, ran great routes, got open in end zone, went up to go get the football. So he did a superb job on Saturday, no doubt about it. And so, does that validate the 5th pick or the 5th spot? Yeah, possibly. No doubt about it. I think you could definitely make that argument. I mean, he's been showing it. And so he's been making plays in practice. So I definitely believe he's going to make the roster. No doubt about it. I think Justin Watson is going to be able to make the roster. He's going to be able to help, the offense, man, with what he does. So, yeah, man, I think he did a great job on Saturday. Now, Reese Fountain, I don't know, as far as, if he's a lock for the 6th pick or, the 6th spot and Josh is the 7th or whatever. You know what, man? You know what it boils down to? And everybody talks about special teams. But to be honest with you, on special teams, you either got to be the return guy that's going to make sure you get the nod, or you got to have a significant role on special teams. And usually as a wide receiver, man, you're going to be a gunner, or you're going to be a guy that's a safety. Maybe come down, make a play on kickoff. But, I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not really that much a significant role as far as like special teams, especially if you're not that guy. If you're just going down as a gunner, I mean, you could get a defensive guy to do that. I mean, they're much better than wide receivers are making tackles in open space. Wide receivers just have the speed to get down there. And so I don't know if that necessarily, like as far as that special team is like one of the things that you use to say he has a nod over Josh Gordon. And I'm talking about Reese Fountain. But I'm in the camp of saying that I don't understand why so many people are just hating on Josh Gordon. To me, look, I get, like I said, you get behind certain guys and you champion them, and so have your horse and you bet on him and you ride with him. But the thing is, I'm gonna say this: Josh Gordon is a guy that if any offensive coordinator had on their squad, that's a guy that you want to keep. That's a guy that you just need to have. And so a guy that with his ability, his athletic ability, to go out there and make plays. And I'm watching him when he's not having the football. So I'm watching the routes that he's running when the ball's not coming his way. I don't know if everybody else is doing that, but I am. I mean, that's just film study, and I'm just looking at this guy. And so to me, Josh is still a good receiver. In my estimation. I mean, look, I've been around a lot of football. I've seen a lot of wide receivers. I've been a lot of football. Josh Gordon, at 80% of what he used to be at from 2013 or 2014, when everybody wants a reference to, because he's not that guy. That guy's gone, right? But the guy's a more mature guy. He's Josh Gordon 2022, who's 31 years old, doesn't have a whole lot of miles on his legs, but still has speed, still has athletic ability, still has strength, still runs great routes, and can still catch the football with his hands. That's another thing. That sucker could snatch the ball, right? We know this. And so the coaches know it. That's the reason they brought him to Kansas City. Ain't no doubt about it. And I get people all want to move on from him. Oh, he's washed up. Look, let me say this, okay? And this is where the whole pump your brakes on the whole, oh, he's washed up and stuff like that. I'm saying this. If Josh Gordon doesn't make the team, it's not because he lacks ability. It's going to be because of the scheme that we run. That's the only reason that he didn't fit into the scheme that the Chiefs are wanting to put in what they have. Well, that's going to be it. He's not going to fit into the scheme of what they want and to utilize all his talents, right? And so sometimes the things just doesn't work. Sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. Then you get a guy and you're like, look, he's a talented guy. But what we want to try to do scheme-wise, we're trying to fit him into what we try to do offensively. And so we seen him run like the jet sweep, doing the motion. I was kind of glad. I'm like, okay, well, shoot, now he's doing a little bit of that, right? Yeah. Because he's a big body, and shoot, that's a guy that's going to be able to fall forward for 4 or 5 yards because he's going to be able to run over some folks. Mm-hmm. And so, that's promising seeing that. But, the whole like, washed up at just not so. I'm telling you this. If I'm an offense coordinator, I'm going to make sure if I'm looking in a room and I'm looking at all the guys in the room, I'm going to sit well at night. I'm going to put my head down on my pillow to sleep better at night, knowing 12 was in that room with me. If I'm going into battle, I don't care if he's going to be a reserve or he's going to be, if I got 12, I'm all right with that. I'm going to look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got 12 in here. Good, cool, bet. So I think he's making his way back. I think he's because he got hurt at the end of OTAs and you know what I'm saying? Yep. The mini camps. And so that might be part of the reason for his slow start during the summer. And so, yeah, it's going to take some time. This right here might be the most opportune time for him to actually show what he can do. since Mecole probably won't play, I'm sure he's not going to play because of groin injury, and then JuJu not playing. So maybe if he gets some reps with the ones and the twos, then he may get some more of those looks. Yeah. Because as far as like ultimately, man, physically, ain't nothing that Josh can't do. Ain't nothing he can't do. And I'm going to be honest with you. Look, Josh Gordon right now at 85%, 80% of what he used to be is still better than most of the league wide receivers out there. Full stop. I don't care what you say. Look, everybody can have their own opinion about it. Look, I'm watching these guys out here. I'm watching guys from other teams, and I'm sitting there watching this. Josh Gordon has that ability, period. If I'm sitting there watching 35 or 34-year-old A.J. Green go out there and catch 54 balls in Arizona, Josh Gordon could definitely do that at 31 in Kansas City or go anywhere else and go do it. So even if it's not at the Chiefs, he could go somewhere else and still catch a lot of balls. He could be effective. Yeah. So if he's on the waiver wire, somebody's going to pick him up. And if they don't, then they stupid. I'm going to tell you that. I just think if the Chiefs got rid of him, they would get rid of him because they want him to go find a home like they did Lonnie Johnson, right? Early, so get a fit somewhere. But it will be, like I said before, it's not going to be off his lack of ability. It's just going to be where he goes into the whole scheme of things. I always said this is like a small man's offense, right? You see smaller receivers in this offense because there's a reason because of what they do with the movement and finding windows and stuff like that. But a big body like Josh, back shoulder, fade route, go get it, body up. And man, that's all his ball. He's basically like a tight end, man, in that body. So, we got Travis roaming the middle, and Jody's going to be able to help out on that. But Josh, man, go deep with it. Shoot, run a 9 route. I don't care if that's the only thing he runs. Give him a shot, throw it up to him. If he's in the end zone, give him a shot, throw it up to him. He got big hands. He's going to snatch the football, and he does a great job, eyeing and catching the ball at the high point and strikes and stuff. Yeah. He's going to do that. So that's where I'm at with it, man. Everybody could disagree with me, but like I said, I know ball. I talk to guys. I talk to, coordinators. I've asked, man, what do you think about this? And they was like, yo, hey, JD, I tell you what, this is where I'm at. And so I know how guys feel. And sometimes one of my boys is like, man, well, he only got the name and, the size. Well, shoot, sometimes the name and the size is all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still going to strike fear. It's still going to be a sense of respect with the guy like that. I tell you what, look, Mike Tyson ain't Mike Tyson from the 1998 Mike Tyson, right? He's not that guy. But I guarantee right now, if I'm looking for some of the baddest dudes on the planet, Mike Tyson's going to be on my side.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking for it, okay? Because I know at any moment that Mike Tyson is going to have a 1996 punch on somebody. He's going to have an uppercut and a hook. He's going to have that with him.
Yeah.
Might be 1 time or 5 times, but I guarantee, man, one time that sucker comes out, he is taking you out.
Yeah.
I think Josh has that ability to maybe go out into the game to still get 4 catches for a certain amount of yards, right? I just do. And so it's a little bit unfair. Okay, I know I'm going on a little rant here, but I'm passionate about it.
You're good.
It's a little unfair when he came in basically in an offense where he used the words insurmountable, right? It's going to be hard for anybody to come in during the season to try to learn this offense and then try to fit into what they were trying to do, right? It's really tough because now all of a sudden you go from where you hadn't really played, fully or consistently for 2 years into now the offense where you got the best quarterback in football who has velocity coming out of his hand like a pitcher, like his father was throwing heat down the pipe. And now you got to learn this highly complex offense. So, yeah, you know what? We were expecting, I'm sure people were expecting 2013, 2014 Josh when you heard his name, right? That was our expectation. Yeah. Everybody wanted to move past because they didn't get that guy. Well, that's not the guy that was going to show up, right? But it's still Josh Gordon. And Josh Gordon still is a ball player. He's a player. He's a good wide receiver. So, look, man, that's where I'm at in this whole vein of things. I don't, people could disagree with me all they want to. Like I said, if that was my druthers, I'm the coordinator. If I got 12 back there and I'm looking at Josh Gordon, his name on his jersey, got flash, hey man, I'm gonna bring you in. You're gonna be on my squad. Okay. I'm gonna try to make it, but I'm gonna try to get the ball to you. So this is gonna be a great opportunity, I think, for him coming up this week, and it's gonna be on him to show what he can do if he fits on this. And I think the thing is, he's been trying to fit into this whole thing this whole time, and maybe he just needs a little bit of that confidence or kind of that commitment to say, okay, let's get you some reps, see what you're gonna do.
And I gotta say, whatever happened on Saturday, right? The two drops, not drops, but they weren't, incomplete passes, right? They were nice looking grabs. The one that both he had to pluck out of the air and show his athletic ability. So he's still showing that he's got it, right?
Yeah.
What the reports I saw, which I'm still trying to grasp why the media there is just like, I see clips about Justin Watson, I see clips about Pacheco all day long, but it's like, and I'll see tweets, videos, right? Then I'll see tweets where it's like, oh, Josh Gordon's like playing pretty hard today. It looks like he knows he's on the fringe of making the team. He's playing hard. It's like, okay, well, show me the clips then. I don't see any clips of it. I barely see clips of Josh Gordon. I'll see tweets, and I saw another tweet the other day was oh yeah, Josh Gordon was running a route, fell on his butt. He had to change his cleats soon after that. And then what's that?
No, I was gonna say sometime, man, all that is just creating a narrative for a guy because they don't champion for him, right?
Right.
They don't want him on the squad. They moved the media's moved off from him. And so that's the reality of it. And so some of the media, some of the fans have moved from him. I've seen enough from Josh Gordon and all this guy's a bum, all this guy's washed up. They moved on from this guy. Okay. They've already made their minds up. They made a decision. That's what they're going to do. Here at Chiefs Concerns, we're in a different camp. You know what I'm saying? I want Josh to make it. And I think a lot of other people out here want him to make it. Maybe the silent people were saying, like, look, man, we know he still has ability. And so we see that glimmer of light that, what he had. The thing is, when those two routes, he was open. Yeah. The balls were late. There was 2 late balls on it. That out route, Patch throwing it right now. That ball's out there. He's catching it inbounds. He's doing the two-toe drag, right? Probably could have got the other one down, but it was close. Should have. The second one, he has to jump to pull himself back. Yeah. He catch the football. Because he's like, man, this ball should have been on me. Yeah. And so, look, man, let's just be honest with what we seeing out there. If it's Patrick Mahomes throwing the football on those 2 passes, they're catches. Yeah. No doubt about it. And he snagged them both, with his hands, no problem. So
yeah. And I wonder too, if Josh had completed both those catches, I wonder if the narrative would have changed where it's people say, oh, pack your bags, Josh, you're out of here. But if he catches those passes, oh man, Josh is really making a case for himself. It's like
they still would have found something negative about it. They would have still said, oh, well, he's going against the second corner or whatever like that, so he should get open. It still would have been something because they are, like I said, they've already made their mind up about this deal. So my thing is, Josh, if he sees this or stuff like that, man, look, we on your side. Yeah. Okay. And look, the Chiefs brought him in because they knew who they had in this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let's not get it twisted. We already know what it is. So they know the ability that he's got. And so sometimes, it does take some time. So he needed that whole offseason to learn the offense, but I think he has down now. Okay. There's good competition that's in the room, which is great. You know what I'm saying? To have that competition. My thing is, if you are staying with those guys, MVS, JuJu, Hardman, Skyy, now you got Justin Watson. Shoot, in my book, Josh is right up there with everybody else from that point on, right? Yep. Josh, Doris Fountain, Cornell Powell, all those guys are in that kind of that boat of things. Yeah. But I'll tell you who's a proven receiver in the NFL. I'll tell you that. Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you the dude that has the ability that people still respect. I'll tell you that. And it's not saying anything bad about the other guys, because I love those guys too. I think all those guys can still play. But I tell you what, if 12 figures it out and just goes out and just play, shoot. I know who would be one of the top receivers on the squad. Put it that way.
Yeah. And I'll say this too, and I think someone's got to give for this, where it's like, I'm not saying anything against Doris Fountain or Cornell Powell or anybody else. I think I
love them guys.
Yeah, love them. Cornell's a friend of the show. We love Cornell.
Absolutely. Rooting for him.
if Josh were to get cut, there's a high probability he'll get claimed off waivers and he'll go to Denver. Russell Wilson loved him, and he wanted him in Seattle. That's part of the reason why he had a problem with Seattle. Yeah. I guarantee he would be on the first flight to Denver. Yeah. Besides that, I think there's a high probability if we let Fountain or Cornell Powell go, I think we could probably get those guys back into our practice squad again. I think we could. Whereas Josh Gordon, I think he's gone. He's gone if we let him go.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. He's going to be a hot topic. I guarantee. Look, I right now, just off the top of my head, sure, I could probably name you 10 teams that could use him right now.
Oh yeah,
easy, and I guarantee somebody's like, oh, they let him go. Make a phone call right now. Go get him. I promise you that. So they're gonna take a chance with him. Sure. Yeah. Because we seen what's out there in the NFL on teams, wide receiver. Some rooms get crowded sometimes, man, and sometimes it is just that competition.
Yeah.
It's as things work, man. But I just, to say he's washed up, man. Come on, they say the same thing about Odell Beckham Jr. Said the same thing.
Yeah.
He goes out there, get a better quarterback, better system, and he's hitting people over the head, and he's hitting his head on the goalpost, burning everybody. So we could say that everybody's so quick to, he's washed up because, like I said before, everybody's expecting 2014 Josh to show up last year.
Yeah.
For a man that hadn't played consistently for 2 years, right? Trying to learn a very complex offense. He's behind. Okay, fine. You know what? They still got the AFC Championship game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, hey, whole off season, things happened, didn't work like it was. Guys in the room, and that's what I love. I love the room because you got a lot. You have a problem that wasn't there last year, right? Because it was like, oh my gosh, who do we have, right?
Yeah.
We got Tyreek, Hardman, who's not consistent, and then. Pringle. You got Pringle and Robinson, then it's like, who, right? It was one of those things.
Yeah.
Now, shoot, now you got some guys.
Yeah.
It's going to make it tough, but.
It's a gauntlet. So whoever comes out on top of that 6 receivers, like, well, you worked your butt off and you earned it. So, like, there you go.
Hey, man. Hey, look, that's how the NFL goes. And so if he makes the team, cool. If he doesn't, fine. But I know, somebody's going to be able to utilize him. And I've said, if you're looking around the league at the older guys is getting signed and they still catching 54 balls, AJ Green, and then Julio going down there to Tampa, Odell Beckham Jr. is going somewhere. There's a lot of guys that are not washed up that got names that's good receivers. So, somebody going to be able to use it. Somebody going to be able to use his talents.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
I'm still hoping it's in Kansas City.
Yeah, of course. No, of course, man. And I'm gonna say, the reason I like for it to be in Kansas City, and it's just not about making the team. I think the entire structure of the organization about how much they care about the players, and I think they invested in Josh. I think Josh understands that, and he feels like this is a home for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think works in his favor.
Yeah,
that's why I say that. I think he for I don't want to say for the first time. I want to say he's very comfortable out here. Mm-hmm. He feels a welcoming, area and environment of Kansas City and the organization. We're a top organization out there, man.
Yeah,
and that's what I like about it because I'm sure they're giving you a lot of support and they care about their players. They care about them. So, maybe other places he played at, all they care about winning and what you can do out on the football field. Kansas City is going to be a little bit more different, and I think he feels that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why they made him feel very, comfortable being here.
Yeah, and he's turned his life around, and a lot can say, being in Kansas City maybe it helped him.
No doubt. And sometimes it's what a guy needs, man. Mm-hmm. He needs that support, and support is very important, for a guy like this. And I think he has that humility. And humbleness because he understands what they offered him, the gratitude that he has with that. So that's the reason I'm saying that. I think that's my selfishness for him to be here, because I know it's a great organization for him, the great atmosphere for him to be a champion and a winner.
Mm. So this weekend, you think that's going to be it's going to tell us a lot about those last few spots on this last spot with the receivers.
Yeah. I think it'll start bearing itself out. You know, I think so. You know, you got the third game, of course. So they always come down to the last cuts.
Right.
I mean, there's other guys I know that, you know, from what the cut's going to be. There's going to be some other guys, man, that's going to kind of, you know, leave up out of here because of that. But I like I said, if it was something that they got rid of, it was like, hey, maybe it's best for we get rid of him now so he can go somewhere and find somewhere to go play. Right. Or look, we pushing for him to kind of make it. If he turns it on, if he's healed like he should be, you know, mentally he's there with everything, still running routes and catching the football. Shoot. Yeah, maybe we need to have this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just, you know, for the life of me, I could give you an argument why the guy needs to be here, why he should be here.
Yeah.
Shoot. Like I said, if I'm the coordinator, I wouldn't even hesitate.
Yeah. No, that's, I mean, to say we're arguing for him to be our sixth receiver, I mean, not many teams can go six deep and have their sixth guy be someone who can be very dangerous and explosive in the NFL. And that's
right.
Sixth guy.
And look, and we know there's going to be injuries, right? I mean, look at it right now.
Yeah.
You know, Mecole's hurt, JuJu, maybe with his history. And so you're going to need a guy, you know, that's been there before, that's got experience, you know, that can make the tough catches, that can body guys up. And so, look, and if I'm looking in the room, like I said before, I'm looking at eyes and I like 12.
Yeah.
Come on, 12. Need you today, baby. Need about 5 from you. Can you give me 5 of them? 2 tubs? Sure.
Hey, he said his press conference last week, I'm doing whatever coach tells me to do. So there you go.
Do whatever coach telling me to do. So go get 2 tubs and 5 catches. You know, about 120. Do that.
Yeah, I hope he shows us some of that on Saturday so we can say there's no more doubt in some of these people's minds.
Yeah, but look, and don't get me wrong. I mean, look, and we pushing, like I said, for our guy, you know, Cornell Powell.
Yeah,
you know, and I hope he gets his due. Go out there and show what he can do, right? I just think sometimes it's unfair when you have to deal with, you know, Crumb and this line, and you don't have the timing, and all those things are different. It's different, and so, you know, you just got to do what you can do.
Yeah,
you know what you got. So.
Yeah, well, and also for us, it's like when we see the BS that's going on with like who media is pushing out and like they're pushing out certain people, and it's like you're putting down others. It's like, nah, we're not letting that go, you know. So like that's why we're kind of making a point to, okay, well, Josh Gordon is doing these things. You may not be seeing them tweeted from the Sports Illustrated accounts, the Arrowhead Pride accounts, or the KCSN accounts, but no, there are clips of Josh Gordon out there. You kind of have to dig for them a little bit. They're making it hard to find, but we're putting them out there.
Right. Hey, man, guy's still dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Still a good player. So.
Yeah. So hopefully Josh can go out there and show us up on Saturday. Okay, so for the next topic, we mentioned Lonnie Johnson. So this week we had to get to the 85 players. We cut down the roster to 85. Lonnie Johnson was kind of the biggest surprise of the cuts that we had. He was a guy that we traded from the Houston Texans, Stevie, right after the draft. He was going to play a little bit of cornerback, a little bit of safety. He's from Kentucky, went to the UK. And Coach Reed said the reason why they cut him in this first round was that they wanted him to land somewhere sooner. So it's good on them. But he also, in the same breath, said there's a lot of talent in that DB room from the young guys. And so just some comments on that. What did you make of the Lonnie Johnson release? Then also Andy Reid's comments about the young guys that we've kind of talked about throughout this offseason.
It makes sense. I believe every bit of that. I really do. You know, so, you know, Lonnie Johnson was it was a crowded room. And so he's like, hey, you know, let this guy go on and get somewhere else. And somebody, you know, of course, is going to pick him up. And so did somebody pick Lonnie? Somebody picked Lonnie up, didn't they?
Yeah. Tennessee did. So he's
Tennessee,
he's going back to that division.
Right. So, you know, hey, that's how these things work. But there's a lot of young talent in that room. A lot of young talent. A lot of guys that out there that are hungry, that can play, that are ball hogs. And so it was good to see, man. I mean, when I started looking, I'm like, Dad, God, how many DBs do we got? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and we just got, what's the name it? Back, Fitton.
And yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, when we knew he was coming back, Spaghetti-O, wanted to let somebody go. So, yeah, man, I think, you know, with McDuffie, you know, you're talking about also too, I mean, Snead, Brown, Watson, you got some good safeties out there. I mean, there's some guys out there that's going to be able to play some ball, man. It's going to be able to compete.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. It's good to have like these young guys that are hungry, you know, to do that. And so, like I said, that's another good problem to have. It's another good problem to have. And so it's going to be tough, but there's a lot of young guys. There's a lot of young guys. There's a lot of young guys that deservingly so will get a chance, an opportunity to show what they can do. So,
and even one of the other last round picks of the draft, when Najee Johnson from Marshall, I think our last pick of the draft, he's come in. He's played with the ones in during training camp. I mean, like he's looked good. I mean, we have so many guys who have just like, well, these young guys. It's really cool because we've talked about having slow secondary, and it looks like we're having a fast, really young secondary.
Fast, young secondary, and really, it's all about, you know, being in the right position.
Yeah,
you know, how to play on guys over top. And the thing is, what I like about the room is because they demand a lot of that demand, putting your hands on guys, being physical. And these guys that we got in the room they're not scared of that at all. Yeah. Right. So that to me, you know, it's gonna be interesting to watch because first few weeks, man, I'll keep going back to it. You know, it's gonna be something. It's going to be something. And so, you know, you looking at the guys, the young guys, are they going to sink or they're going to swim? What are you going to do? So, I think they'll be up to the task. Yeah, I think they do. I think Trent McDuffie is still working into his own. He's still getting there. He's still getting there. Sometimes for corners, you know, the only way that you're going to have a guy and learn what he can do, you got to throw him in there. Yeah. You have to. There's no other way about it. You know, like trying to get mental reps for a corner, it's tough. Yeah. It's tough. The only way you're going to be able to play is see the speed, feel the guy, understand the coverage, understand the spacing, to really be good, to be effective. Mm-hmm. So, man, if you're not doing it, man, that's a tough road. That's a tough road to be, you know, especially not getting the reps. And so, no, it's good because they're going to get some good competition on the other side with the wide receiver room. Yeah. So it's going to make them better. That's a good thing about it because those guys, you know, they're helping them in their growth. Yeah. They're helping them in, you know, kind of what they're going to see on Sunday. So, no, it's good. It's good.
I mean, right out the gate, we play Arizona in that high-powered offense. I mean, that's a big test right away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, woo. D-Hop coming in, that joker.
D-Hop's he's suspended for the first 6 games because of
that's right. I forgot. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Still a high-powered offense, but not as lethal.
Yeah, not as lethal without D-Hop, but they still got guys out there. They still got guys. Mm-hmm. Who's the fast guy? Because they left Kirk's not there no more. Who's the other dude that was kind of backing him up?
Because Kirk's gone.
Daggone it.
They brought back AJ. Oh no, Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Rondale Moore too.
Rondale Moore. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah. Moore he's a solid receiver, man. Fast, quick, got some ability, get him out of space.
Yes, and AJ Green too. I mean, they brought in Zach Ertz still over there as their tight end.
Ertz is yeah. Ertz is still their tight end. Yeah. So
I mean, that's still that's a solid offense. I mean, even with that Hopkins, man, it's
and shoot in the running backs. Shoot, you know, they got some boulders back there.
Yeah. So, James Conner.
Yeah. He won me the fantasy last year. Good, close to it, man. That joke.
He tore it up last year.
He did.
So much so that Chase Edmonds ran Chase Edmonds out of town back to Miami. So kind of to Connor's backfield now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, to see the young guys kind of like sink or swim right out the gate. So take their they could take their lumps early, but so what? It's going to be interesting to see them kind of mature throughout the season, regardless. And that goes for the whole defense because the whole defense is pretty young. So seeing them mature throughout the year, as long as you see progress, I mean, I don't really care.
Yeah, well, okay, and I'll talk about this because the whole scope of the game in itself, defensively, man, they look good. The Chiefs look good.
They did,
right? And I know linebacker core is solid. The Jokers are solid, man. They look solid. My man Kalafkas, man, I try to say the Greek Freak needed him here. I'm trying to tell you, hey, Dunstradamus, look, there's a guy that I'm saying. He was coming. It's a guy that we needed. We need a guy with that high motor who's going to come, leaned up, was out there, man. He's getting at the guys. I love it. I love it so much. And so, kind of watching some of the other guys, watch the safeties, how the safeties were doing. Reed was going down making some tackles.
Yep.
Some other guys, I wanted some other guys to kind of show up a little bit. But
Willie Gay had that nice tackle where he filled that lane when the running back was trying to make that cutback.
Oh yeah. Willie him and Bolton, man, it's gonna be,
Very
real
fun.
deal. Yeah, Chanel, you did a great job. Defense looked good. Chris Jones looked solid like always.
Yeah.
Frank didn't really get a sniff. He was trying to, but it's gonna come. It's gonna come. So I think, man, I'm excited for this defense, man.
Yeah.
Defense, they look good. They did. They look good. The first team really looked good. And so they made a couple of tips.
Dunlap looked huge next to some of the guys out there. He's enormous.
Yeah. He just it looks like he's just a long joker with long arms and long legs or something.
Mm-hmm. So someone online was saying the single-digit jersey number guys that makes them look bigger because the
huge. That too. Yeah, what is he wearing? Number 8?
Number 8, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So. Yeah, I was kind of looking for him to kind of show a little bit, but he's a guy that in the season you'll start seeing him as the time kind of goes.
Yeah,
getting a little bit of looks. We'll talk about the big house that came in the door for us.
Whew, huge. 345 or something like that.
Yes, sir. And they're gonna feel every bit of that.
Yeah,
I'm so happy. He's here. So it's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. That's a wide, big joker, and he gonna take 2. He gonna take 2, man. He gonna be housing that offensive line, man. I'm telling you. Just watching him in one-on-ones when he's going against Trey.
Yeah. Well, they were saying that when they were doing team, he was like taking on like 3 blockers at certain points.
He's a wild body, man. That's a wild body right there. I love it. But that's going to free up everybody else to make plays. Mm-hmm. And that's the guy that you needed. You need a guy like that.
And with Saunders and Wharton and Noddy, hopefully they keep all those guys on. You can spell him because his whole thing is being healthy. He's never really been, he's been injured. He's hit the injury bug quite a few times in his career. So if he can stay healthy and, play a few snaps here and there, he can definitely be, utilized and kind of sustained all throughout the season, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like you said, a couple of snaps here and there, man. And part of it is just a rotation, right? It is. Yeah. That's what it's what you need. You need that on the defensive line is a great rotation of guys. Mm-hmm. So
345 trotting out through all game, man. That ain't sustainable.
Nah.
Okay, so for the final topic tonight, so Saturday, we again are going to be on NFL Network, and we're hosting the Washington Commanders. The first time the Chiefs will play the Commanders in the history right there. First game ever against the Commanders. Hosting in Kansas City at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NFL Network. The Chiefs are currently a 4-point favorite. I watched a little bit of that the Commanders game last week against the Panthers. They played all right. They left their starters in there for a while. So Wentz played for a good while in that game. So depending on how long our stars can play, I don't know. I think we're gonna have a lot of guys who are fighting for spots this week. So I think I'll take the Chiefs money line just straight up without any points involved. So that's the degenerate gambler side of things. JD, what are you looking for on Saturday in this game?
I'm looking for improvement. I'm looking for improvement on the offensive line, without a doubt. Guys, I'm looking for Orlando Brown Jr. to kind of catch up. I've seen him, he's a little rusty. So he's getting his feet right. I'm looking for him to improve. So I'm going to be watching the offensive line a whole lot. Obviously, the running back room, I'm be looking at the wide receivers. I think Jody going to be playing this week. So hopefully we'll see some of that 3 tight end set.
Yeah.
13 personnel. Shoot, if they threw 14, man, I'm going to go crazy. You can do a preseason, though. Preseason, you can do it.
Yeah.
And so offensively, that's what I'm be looking for. Just the feet, the fits, the blocking scheme, how everything looks from the running backs. I'm going to look for them to, find some holes. It's a good defense they're going against, so it's going to be a good challenge for them. Defensively, same thing. They're going to have to be going against some good receivers, tight end. So it's going to be a good challenge, man. It's going to be a good challenge. Good quarterback. I think Carson Wentz, man, he's a good quarterback. I think they got to get him ready and prepared playing in there. I mean, he's been going everywhere. He juggles everywhere. Every year he's somewhere different, seemed like. So, but yeah, the defense, I want to see a lot of penetration. Get back there, cause some havoc. And maybe, man, let's see some tips. Let's get a couple of interceptions, see what's going on. And so that's going to be good. That's what I'm going to be looking for. So the points and stuff like that, not really. I'm looking just overall team-wise where everything is, where guys are, and their progress. And so that's mainly where I'm at. Now, special team-wise. Now, am I understanding that Reed's is he going to cook this? Is Butler going to be back?
I don't know. I mean, I know Reed because he wants to continue to get some snaps during these games and stuff. So
hey, man, look,
or kicks.
I get it, but shoot, if you don't bring another kick in, don't let that because he kicked that one ball and I seen the guy die for it, and I was like, oh my! If they hit his leg and hurt him, shoot, that's the only thing I'm worried about. Because sometimes they'll do some dirty stuff like that. I don't like that. And so I get it, man. I'm glad for him getting that little bit of an experience, but shoot, I'm going to keep putting him back there. They don't need to, bring a guy in and let him kick for a little bit and then send him on his way.
Yeah.
And Butler get healthy.
Yeah. I'm curious what we saw from the starters last week offensively, that first drive, what's 6 of 7 Mahomes was for 60 yards. I mean, he pretty much everyone got touched that drive besides JuJu, who's been his number one guy in training camp, which I thought was funny. I'm interested if JuJu and Hardman don't play. I'm interested to see whether guys fill in those spots and how Mahomes looks again with a different set of guys out there and how he can spread the ball around and get downfield. And that was something that I had noticed. I was watching old Texas Tech Mahomes highlights. Or not highlights. I was watching the game against Oklahoma, the game where they broke the score record. Mahomes, in that game, what stood out to me was the fact that he was throwing to like a different guy like almost every play. It was, the air raid offense, spread it out. He was throwing to somebody new every time. It was like, man, he's really spreading the ball around. And I'm like, this kind of reminds me of what we saw on Saturday. And it's like, it looks like college Mahomes where he's just spreading it out to anybody. It's like anybody on any play can get the ball. And that's what it looked like. And I'm just curious if Hardman and JuJu don't play on Saturday, if that continues with with 2 new crop of guys out in there too. And I just think if he can continue to get that done with spreading the ball around with just different guys every week, I think sky's the limit, man.
Man, look, it's easy for a guy who's a top quarterback in the league. I get everybody was thinking, they talk about him, Mahomes didn't have any without Tyreek, he's nothing, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Look, Patrick Mahomes can make every throw possible to anybody. If the guy's open, the ball's going to get there. He's going to read the defense, and if you're open, he's going to throw you the ball. You understand the offense up and down. He's got a great handle for it. He could probably call the plays if you wanted to from where he's at.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Just seeing the defense. And so I don't worry about that whatsoever. I think the guys are going to get open. That's the main thing, the guys getting open. So I have confidence in MVS, Watson, Skyy Moore, Josh Gordon, Fountain, and Powell. I got confidence on those guys. And Coleman. All those guys is coming in. No problem. So they run at 13 personnel. Then we're going to have, Jody and Gray and Travis, and maybe Bell. Bell's out, didn't he? He's hurt.
Yeah, he has a hip, some hip injury.
He got a hip flexor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those guys are going to be open too. But Patrick's going to be able to get on the ball.
Yeah.
Because he's a top-tier quarterback.
Yep.
He's the best in the league. So no problem. No problem, man, for him. I think everybody was just kind of down on him because he's like, oh, what are you going to do without him? Now you've seen what he did this past game, right? Boop, 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 boop. But that's what the top quarterback's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And he did it. And he's going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So
what was the late Hank Stram say, matriculating the ball down the field, and that's what he did, matriculated the ball down the field.
Yes, sir. How about those Chiefs, baby? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'll be saying. So,
yeah, no, it's one of those things. Like I don't know, and I think that all the hate and all the stuff that we heard this offseason, I think Patrick heard that. I was watching Pete Schrager on Good Morning Football, and he was talking about how a lot of the stuff that's going on, Mahomes pays attention to all that stuff. Not that he's going to comment on it on Twitter. He's not going to say anything about it, but he stores it in here. And it's, if a guy has that in the back of his mind going into the season, he's gonna want to go out of his way to prove the doubters wrong, even more so than he would without hearing all that stuff. So
right.
Keep adding that bulletin board. Keep adding to it, people.
That's it. Absolutely. No. That's the worst thing they possibly do is underestimate his ability and what he can do. So,
yeah, the guy hasn't proved it enough already in the first 4 years of his career.
Just, man, it's opinions, man. That's how it is. It's always like that. And he's another guy that, regardless of what happens, whatever he does, there's always going to be some haters that say he's not that good, or he don't do that, and backyard football, and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I tell you what, the guy wins. He's been 2 Super Bowls. Okay, been MVP.
Yeah.
You can hate only all you want to, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep smacking him over the head with it, though.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that does it for us. Thanks for tuning in to Chief Concerns presented by BetOnline. We'll see you guys next week as we preview the final preseason game. Also talk about any cuts that happen by the time of our next show, and also discuss what goes on in Kansas City against the Commanders this coming Saturday. So we'll see you guys next time. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.